Going live. Okay. Welcome, viewers slash listeners. You have reached Lip Service. And for those of you who don't know, Lip Service is the show about comics. And I know for some of you, you guys might say big whoop-de-doo. Well, it is a big whoop-de-doo because what our difference is we deal with the independents. We don't deal with Marvel. We don't deal with DC. We don't even deal with Dark Horse. We deal with the up-and-comers, the ones, the folks that you may not see in your comic book shop. So it's our job to present them to you. And I am your host, Stats Jenkins. And this is our 75th episode on YouTube. Now, for those of you who have followed us over the years, there are a bunch, at least another 50 episodes in audio version on our site at lipservice.kitchencomics.com. And those are where the early years before we switched to video. So, but I digress. But right now, our guest is Joe Perez. Joe, welcome to Lip Service.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. So,
Thank
Joe,
you.
Joe, what got you started in comics in the first place?
Oh, man. Probably just about, I think I was just always, drawing all the time. I was, that kid in the back of the class always drawing, on books, and, I'm not really paying attention too much. And then basically had a story, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it in comic book form, and that's pretty much how I got into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So, and how, now, with that, you probably got a lot of trouble with that to begin with. Writing on school books is not a cool thing. Teachers tend to frown upon that.
Well, yeah, you get the big textbooks or whatever, and you just draw the little do little flip book animations on the bottom corners of the pages. Might be doing that all the time. So because I was originally going to do it as a my comic that I do as a animated series, which I did the first season, but then I was I just want to do comics. I think it's a lot easier to tell the story, and it doesn't take as long either. So
right. Yeah. So then with the transition going into comics, let me ask you this. I guess to say how did you transition from just doodling and saying, okay, I've got something, to say, okay, I can go publish? What process did you go through in order to get to that point?
It was almost kind of like a necessity, because a few years back, I think the second Denver Comic-Con, and I signed up for it, and I was I want to do this, I want to do the comic thing. And then I think 2 weeks before, I didn't have a finished comic, or even started on it. And I pretty much threw this not so great comic together, which is now in the canon of the story. But I pretty much just kind of pushed myself into it. And after seeing everybody else there, I don't know, it just kind of made me want to work harder at it and do better. So that's kind of how I went about doing the whole comic thing, because at the same time too, I had the first season done, or close to being done at the time, and then I was going to do comics that were going to bridge the gap between the first and second animated seasons. And doing animation takes so long that it's I couldn't put out content fast enough to keep people engaged. So putting out a page every day or every other day keeps your audience way more engaged, and it's a lot easier to put out content in comic book form than doing animation. So that's why I'm kind of going back and redoing the first season in comic book form. So
okay, I got you. Now your comic is a web comic, or is it in print?
It's both.
It's both.
Actually, I post a lot of it up to my website, which is joeperez.com, JOEPRZZ.com. And I also print it out. I actually just printed out, I got a proof the first issue of the new one, and you can kind of see it here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, wait a minute, hold that back up, and hey, this is your opportunity to plug it.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, so it's I'm going back and redoing, as I said, the first pull back a little bit, doing the first season of Buddies in a comic book form. So this is like the first episode in comic book form, and you know, this is going to be here at like the Denver Comic Con and stuff like that. So it should be pretty cool. And like, yeah, so I have like a lot of other comics I've done for buddies already, but I just want to like get it all to be cohesive.
Right.
Just like random stories here and there, it seems like. So
right,
like starting all over with the putting it out there a little bit.
Right. Okay. I mean, now my question to you is, how hard has it been for you to I guess the question is, did you start did you start your comic as a web comic, then go into print, or did you start going print into web comic?
The latter one, so the print and the web comic. Okay. As I was saying, like with the Denver Comic Con, I kind of ended up just that was like the first time I did a comic, and I printed it off, and then I was like, oh, I need to get myself like a website and become like more legit, and so it's kind of like just been like kind of like the reverse of what people usually do, it seems. So.
I say in these days and times, it seems to be the reverse, where a lot of people do the web comic first, and then they then they go into print. But you are old school like me. Would rather have we do our stuff in print, then we put it out there to the masses, so
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So my question is, what challenges have you faced doing print?
The biggest thing is just I'd say drawing your comic in like the correct dimensions, because like I'm gonna draw it like in this way, but if it's not gonna print right like into a book, it's gonna be kind of like jacked up. There's gonna be a lot of white spaces,
right?
And just the cost of them. So I have to do like all my stuff is like very colorful, so it costs a lot more.
Right.
Than, I think like it's something like it to print off like 10,000 units of a color comic for it to even like begin to be like economical to actually like go sell them somewhere.
Right.
So I think like that was a really big thing, was like doing it all in color, and then having like sending it in your comic, like all the files to whoever your printer, and finding a good printer person to get it to you in time before you do a show or when you say you're going to have it. So,
yeah. Well, let me ask you: has the fact of so many print-on-demand companies like even now, even a lot of the online places have print services. So has the print on demand boom has it made your job a lot easier to print? Because you necessarily have to print 10,000 copies.
Right. I mean, like that's like to be like economical. Like I'm not printing off 10,000 copies of like an issue or anything like that. Like not there yet. But it can kind of go like either way, really, because like if you find like a good print person like in your town or in your city or wherever, like you can like go to them and talk to them and see them in person,
right? And
like that can be kind of nice, but like at the same time you have to like leave and go like make an appointment or like a meeting with them and make sure it's right. And the good thing about like doing it online is that like you don't have to leave. You can just upload your stuff and send it out, but then you want to make sure you get proofs of your comic before they start printing them out, because you don't want to get them at the end, and they're all jacked up.
Yeah,
so it goes hand in hand, really.
Oh yeah,
it just depends on what fits like what you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. All too many times, So I'm trying to think here. What? Okay, well, let me try to. I'm trying to figure out do I want to go forward or want to go backward? Okay, let's do it this way. What is your comic book about, Buddies?
So Buddies is about a stoner pothead assistant guy, and basically he messes up a cloning experiment at his job that he didn't know was going on, and creates these 4 walking, talking buds, basically, and he has to like take ownership and be the guardian of them, because like they're only like teenagers really, but they're just getting a lot of problems because people want to take advantage of them because of what they are and like how profitable they can be to other people when really they just kind of want to do their own thing and be their own person.
Right. Okay, I got you. So then my next question to you is, are they stoners as well? Are they potheads too, or?
Yeah, I mean, like there's more of like a dynamic between them to where they all do. Like one of them is like, and like that's eventually like a storyline that I'm gonna like hit to in the future about like their dynamic before they were buddies, like when they were humans. So I don't want to get too much into that because I don't want to give it away because I think it's like
come on, that's what we do. We do.
It's a pretty cool reveal. I think like it's more of like a maybe like 4 or 5 issues down the road.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, that I can understand. Sorry, folks, no spoilers this time around.
Not this time, no.
Okay, I tried, viewers. I tried. So let me ask you this: how have you been? Okay, with buddies and everything, how have you been able to reach? You how have you been able to reach your audience? Word I'm looking for.
I like that you do. I think you really got to like know what your niche is. I think you get consistently out there putting out content and like being online, like being on social media is like a big thing, and finding your like your audience online and like sending it to them specifically. And I live in Denver, so I mean it's not too hard to find an audience for it for me. Like at the Denver Comic Con, like it's a lot more accepted, and like some of the other Comic Cons, like people just kind of like scoff at it because of the just because like the subject matter of it.
Right.
When really, it's like an actual like story to me, like that has like a bunch. It's like really deep to me. Has a lot of substance, but I think people just kind of write it off just because of like the subject matter in the in it. But I think you got to be in the right place, right time, and go out there and find your audience and not really wait for them to come to you.
Right. So from you have been able to crack the social media nut, as it were, to find your audience. So now, has that translated from online to in person when you do go to the cons?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, like there's it's not like I have like some crazy huge following or anything like that with it, but there's definitely people that are reoccurring, people that are that are into your stuff, which is like pretty cool because like online it's just like it's a username that's talking to you, or it's
right.
You don't really see them face to face, and then when you meet them in person, I mean it's pretty cool. Like oh, you're blah blah blah, whatever username, like Twitter handle,
right?
And seeing them in person, like them, like oh, like and they're like actually following your stuff, and sometimes like you're not really sure if what you're putting out is reaching the people you wanted to reach. So
right. Well, and that's the one question that's the really main question I got to ask you is how.
I kind of lost you there. Like,
okay.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how do you know how do you know you've reached somebody, be it online? I mean, in person is one thing because they're at your table buying your stuff. But when it comes to online, how have you been able to know that you've been able to reach people? Is it through your interactions? Do you see how many people are following you? How many impressions you get? How do you measure your reach out there in the cybersphere, as it were?
I think that all comes down to just getting responses back. I mean, you can, somebody can have like a bunch of followers on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, but if they're not getting back to you in any way, then it kind of doesn't really mean anything. So like you can, be cool to people that like your stuff and like send them some free swag if you want.
Right.
Like I've sent a few people like just a few comics and like a DVD here and there, and like they're so stoked on it. And like I feel like that's like the main way that you know that you reach someone for sure.
Right. But yeah, which is true. You know that we've done that from time to time. In fact, one of our oldest readers, Alan Klingelholtz. Alan, thank you so much for being with us. Almost now, yeah, practically almost 17 years. We
Oh,
reached.
wow.
We consider him our number one fan. We reached out to him after. Back in those days, they you would call them internet trolls. In these days and times, you know, after a nice long lengthy argument with them, we reached out to him and gave him a free copy of our work, and he's been with us ever since. You know,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it is.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm talking about. You know, you gotta get those people that are all about what you're doing, and then you know, vice versa.
so, right. And now, which brings me to this with all of us as independent publishers and everything. You know, it's sometimes always us against the mainstreamers. So how well have you been able to grab some of those people? Because let's face it, there are some people out there who will say Marvel is the end all be all of it, and that's just the last point of it. You know, so have you been able to convert any of those people, or are the people that you're interacting with more eclectic or free spirits?
Yeah, I'd say they're definitely more eclectic, free spirit types.
Mm.
You know, at a lot of these cons that you go to, everyone's like a good artist now. You know what I mean? Like everyone's like a really good artist. Like whatever field you go into, there's always like a bunch of really, really good people.
Right.
And a lot of people like to grab on to like the really popular stuff that's going on, like either a certain style of art or you know, certain characters that are going on. So I see that all the time.
Right.
And you know, I'm not really all about, you know, drawing other people's shit, so to speak. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll like do like mashups in like my own style that hopefully grabs people's attention. And you know, if they come up to me talking about that, then I can kind of like redirect them towards you know, other work that I've done. That's like my stuff that doesn't really, you know, piggyback off of what's popular.
Right. And I totally understand that. You know, and not to knock anything from our colleagues who choose to go that route, but you know, I say this: the big boys will always have their they practically two of them, the main two practically own the media. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so they'll be able to drum that into anybody's head at any given point in time, and it's all good and fine. So why should any of us hype them even further? You know, I mean, it has the potential to putting something in our pocket, but in the end, but at the end of the day, would you agree that you would rather have them know your work and know what you're doing versus, oh, look, he drew me Wolverine?
No, exactly, man. Like that's like I said, I'm not all about doing that stuff too much. I mean, I understand it's like a necessary evil, like I said, just to grab people's attentions, you know, attention spans, like over to you. And as I said, you can like redirect them, but you know, I'm not all about, you know, doing what's popular or not. You know, that's not why I'm doing it. But you know, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of good artists out there that, you know, that's all they do is that they, you know, it's easy to draw a character that's been drawn, you know, millions of times and then sell it for like $50. I'm like that's cool, I get it, but you know, it's like that's not me. That's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
That's not how I want to be. Like that's not what
I got.
Like I said, I dabble in it a little bit, but not too much.
Right, and I totally don't blame you, not at all. So now, how far along with buddies are you? Are you like with just within the first introductory? Well, I can't say introductory, but are you like within the first couple of issues, or now with you working so hard for on the print side, did you is it like just like one book, or is it more like you have got like a couple of issues already knocked out?
Yeah, I got like a couple of issues that are already knocked out. As I was saying before, like how, you know, the comics and beginning came after the first season, and it was kind of hard to get people to watch, you know, the first animated season that, you know, wasn't the greatest animation. I was kind of learning at the time, and to follow the story to get to the comics where it continues, and that's where I did a lot of issues already. So that's why I was like, I need to go back. I need to redo the entire first season in comic book form, so it can be all, you know, a cohesive story, and they don't have to watch anything.
Right.
And so I have, like I said, a few more issues. Like, I want to stay like maybe 3 or 4 more issues for the first season, and then it'll connect with the other issues I've already done.
Right.
So it's just not all chronological yet, but I have like a couple issues done. So
gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Now,
it's kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know, the fact of it all is just trying to put together a comic book. First of all, is a undertaking all in itself. And when you are just one person, you know, it just, everything compounds, you know, exponentially, you know. You know, so I commend you for doing that. I mean, great, you know, granted, you know, you're not the first person, you're not going to be the last one, but you know, the fact is that a lot of readers, you know, well, I know as far as as far as the independents are concerned, yes, they do know, hopefully, that you know what it takes to put out a book, because you know, just the fact of it's, first of all, we're independent, so we don't have the ability to hire a team to piece it all together, you know, which I meant to ask you, do you also do your own coloring as well?
Yeah, I do it all by myself, man.
Okay, totally.
I write it, sketch it out, draw it, come up with the stories. I mean, I think it's kind of hard for people to, like, something that's like artistic in nature in general, you know, it's kind of hard to team up with somebody else that's not going to be on the same level as you. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have the commitment towards it.
Right.
Then, and you're waiting on them to get it done so you can move on. It's like, you know, it's hard. Like, I've seen people do it, obviously, and be successful at it, but it takes a special, like, partnership to, you know, see the ups and downs and keep on moving forward.
That is so true, you know. But you know, but the good thing about it is, you know, like, just like you said, with the internet and everything, you know, it does help kind of find that person, bridge gaps, and all like that. So that is a good thing. So now,
definitely.
oh yeah. So now, where can folks find your work?
They can actually, you know, they can hit me up on Instagram at JOEPRZZ, or on my website, JOEPRZZ.com. I have all my social media stuff on there as well. So, like, you know, you want to hit me up on Twitter, which is where, you know, I was talking to you.
Yeah.
At JOEPRZZ, and they're on Facebook, JOEPRZZ LLC. I mean, like, it's all the same stuff. So, you know, like, it's pretty easy to find me anywhere.
You. Right.
Yeah, they pretty much, like, find me mainly on my my website, and, like, Instagram. I'll post up a lot of stuff via Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
And then I'll try to, you know, post up an issue every single month on my website. But if you want to, like, you know, put day by day, is my social media.
Right. Gotcha. Now, as far as your digital ebooks, are you on any of the digital comic book sites that come up, like a Drive-Through or Comics Fix or anything, or any places like that?
Actually, I just not really teamed up, but they have, like, my stuff on there. It's Plume Snake Comics.
Okay.
So you guys should check those guys out, like PLUME.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. They're pretty cool people.
Yeah.
The whole setup is pretty nice. So yeah, go check those guys out. I mean, but they're, like, the only ones that I've, like, really partnered with in any way.
Okay. Well, my suggestion to you is Drive-Through. We've been with them for some time, and the guys.
Drive-Through or Drive-Through?
Well, it's GRIVTHROUH.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys there are pretty good too. You know, them and Comics Fix are have have welcomed us with open arms, and basically it's all up to you, unlike um, what's the one that Amazon snatched up?
Where it's like it pretty much gives you like almost like a profile, like
Yeah.
for your comics and stuff. Like you got like send them to there to buy it and stuff. And you get a percentage and
Right.
stuff like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, no, actually, with drive-through, you just pretty much set, you set up your account, you put yourself out there, it's good. But I'm trying to think of the one that Amazon just snatched up. I can't think of them. I can't. No, and I be railing them all the time. I cannot think of their name, but they to me have gotten so big and bougie. They have. I mean, I can't think of their name, but they're it as far as the digital downloads, but see, they did, but they snatched up Marvel, they snatched up DC, they snatched up all the big boys, and now with them running with their stuff up in there, it's kind of hard. I mean, they were already picky to begin with, but now since they're dealing with that stuff, trying to be included in that. Forget it. You're better off dealing with drive through Comics Fix and all the others. Plume Snake.
Like smaller guys that are going out there trying to
exactly.
Have your best interest in mind.
Exactly.
So
right. Exactly. So to me, that's where your growth is going to be, because the more places you diverse yourself, and everything, the more chances people will get to find you. So now,
absolutely,
yeah.
Like,
so
some people just want to have one outlet, and I'm like, no,
no.
You should be on every single social media outlet. You can't be on. And
yes.
Putting your stuff out there, you got to do it, man.
That's true, because nobody is not going to do it for you. So now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I definitely want buddies to be done by then. I think it'll be done within the next few years. As far as the story goes, I might do other little animation stuff here and there with it. But as far as the entire story will be done, I have a graphic novel I kind of work on every now and then as well. I kind of put up on a website as well. It's called Night Audit. Want to finish that. I also just started my own business doing web design, graphic design, illustration, and all this other stuff.
Great.
So pretty much just building those things and keep doing what I'm doing now. I mean, it seems I'm gaining a lot of momentum. So
right.
I'm just gonna keep on with it,
Right. Well, you never know. I mean, dare you say, if things become popular enough, dare you even say the magic words "movie deal"? That's a possibility.
That'd be cool. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to be get an animated series going on. I think that'd be pretty dope. But who knows? Who knows what the future might hold? I just know that I can only put in as much work as I can.
Oh yeah. There lies the whole crux of the whole crux of it all. You have been putting yourself on there, so so that works out. And so, viewers and listeners, we have been talking with Joe Perez of Buddies. Oh, before I even go even to this, is it just Joe Perez? Do you have a studio name?
No, it's just Joe Perez.
It just
goes like I said, all my stuff, my website and stuff, is just
Joe Perez.
JoePRZZ. So.
Okay, well that works out. So we have been talking to Joe Perez, and up and coming. I can't say up and coming. The man is established. You are. I mean, if anytime you have more than one copy of one issue or something, you are established.
You always have a lot of people at the cons too that have great ideas and everything, and they can tell you the stories of what they want to do, but it's if you don't have anything solid or in hand or online, then I don't know, it doesn't really mean anything. So.
This is true. I mean the whole crux of it, because when we get into argument. Well, I can't say, I won't say arguments. Heated discussions. There we go. With
Right.
with people, especially the ones talking about you're not this, you're not that. Okay, well, where's your book?
Oh yeah, all the time, man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get it too much. I mean, like some people, well, like they'll try to call you out for something they don't feel like you deserve or something. But
Right. Yeah.
it's like, oh, like, well, let me see like what you've been doing, and then maybe I'll take some of what you say with a grain of salt or something. But this time,
oh yeah. Well, I say that's one of the first things for us. Somebody dares to go in that direction. I'm like, excuse me. You see this rack here, full of books?
Yeah.
This is the culmination of what we've done. And this is talking. So and then I'll put it like this: if we weren't selling none of these, we wouldn't be here. Okay.
No, absolutely, yeah.
The proof of the pudding is when somebody walks in and says, "Ooh, what's this about?" and they walk away from your table or you whatever with something uphanded from you.
No, absolutely.
There's your proof. Just because.
Like that's like the biggest thing I think, like why people need to go out to go to cons and put themselves out there more, because you can put your stuff out there online, but if you're not trying to find your audience, putting yourself out there,
right,
it's like no one's going to find it, and you're going to think that anything that you've done is it's not worth doing because you're not getting a response out of it.
Exactly.
But, I mean, there's a time and place for everything.
Exactly.
People out there are going to like your shit. Doesn't matter.
That's true. Exactly. And so folks, Joe Perez, he's out there. You can find him JoePRZZ.
Yes, sir.
All over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hook up and follow him. And if you have any questions for him, you can tweet to him. I've almost said tweet. The last time I did that, my kids just fell out laughing.
You gotta get on Twitter and tweet out to people.
Yes. Yeah. And follow him. And remember, when we're dealing with independence. So when dealing with independence, it is a work in progress. Okay. We're not perfect. It is a work in progress, but with each issue, every hour, we're moving forward, getting closer. So
absolutely, definitely.
So keep that in mind, and we'll be, and if you like what you're hearing, let us know. If you don't like what you're hearing, let us know, so that way we can make the show better. And if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. At the end of the show, there'll be a nice little subscribe button. And hopefully, when I piece all this together, there'll be a couple of more buttons. Hit that button and do it the Chicago way. Vote early, vote often.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So Joe, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Because right now we're doing because right after this, from after a word from our sponsors or just from us in general, we'll come back with with a rant called Kira, which we call Keeping It Real. And oh brother, have I got a cannon load for some people.
There you go. All right, cool.
Okay, so Joe, thank you so much for being our guest.
Awesome.
And what'll happen is in a couple of months' time, we'll come back and revisit to see how you're doing.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to do like a follow up.
Well, good.
And everything.
Yeah. 6 months down the road to see what kind of progress that we'll do that. So okay. Okay, so awesome. Joe, I will let you go, and I will give you. I'll follow up with you a little bit later about details when this will air and everything else.
All right, sounds great, man.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
You too. Okay, viewers, that was Joe Perez. And once again, you'll be able to find his stuff and follow him. And now, when we come back for after a few words, I'll have a few words. Okay, now that was fun. Welcome back to Lip Service. Okay, and I am your host, Stats Jenkins. Ooh, uh, love, turn that back off. I'm getting a glare. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's okay. So, yeah, I'm your host, Stats Jenkins, and this section is called Kira. We haven't had one in a while. And what is Kira? It is an editorial about anything and everything where punches are not pulled, no quarter is drawn, none is spared. And we it's called Kira because we keep it real always. Okay. And and to celebrate this 75th one, I am going on a nice tirade. First dash out the bucket is this. I want you guys right here, all of you guys, to start a campaign on change.org. If you don't start it, I am. And it's going to be to have Disney dismantled. Why? Okay. You should know. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't realized it by now, Disney has become a media conglomerate. You name it, they've got their hands on it. In particular, they have cornered the market and the other rodent, both rodents, Disney with the mouse and Time Warner with the rabbit. They have cornered pretty much just about every form of entertainment. Think about it like this: who owns? And I'm dating myself, for all those people who remember Hanna-Barbera, Magilla Gorilla, Speed Buggy, Super Friends, all them. Anything done by Hanna-Barbera. Guess who owns that now? Disney. Jim Henson. Jim Henson himself. And all the characters on Sesame Street. That means Kermit, Grover, Cookie Monster. All them. Snuffleupagus, Big Bird. Guess who owns those now? Disney. Pixar. Buzz Lightyear, all that. Who owns it? Disney. Marvel and all those characters. Who owns it? Say the name. Disney. Now, if that doesn't scare you, it should. Why? Because now it's bad enough that they probably they don't have anybody to take to be creative enough to come up with something new. Now they're sitting on a treasure trove of characters that they can use all across the board any which way they can. Furthermore, no matter what they use, they have the apparatus to drum it into your head, coming and going, whether you like it or not. If you don't, if it ain't your cup of tea, you're gonna see it anyway, because you're gonna see it on Good Morning America, you're gonna see it on The View, you're gonna see it on any type of show that Disney owns. And these and Time Warner is the exact same way. The only difference is with Time Warner, they've owned Bugs Bunny for the longest. They haven't gone on a blitz like Disney, and if they have, they've kept it quiet. And once again, they can do the exact same thing as to put it out there. You are a captive audience. Now, to me, in any form of the word, if it were any other company, you know what they would call that? A monopoly. Plain and simple. It would be a monopoly. And the FCC, the SEC, the FCC should get involved, because it's dealing with communications, should be all over them saying, what the F? You are too big, too powerful, with too much power. They could drive any kind of message. And the fact that they're using, and the fact that they have all these cartoon characters at their disposal, guess who they can aim that message to? Uh-huh. Now, parents, does that does that make does that irk you to no end, parents? Doesn't that shouldn't that make it, you should be afraid, very afraid, because they can use all that to drive any kind of message into your kid's skull, and you be good with it because it's in the form of a cartoon character. So so that is something that, if nobody else is putting that bug in your ear, I am. And you should be afraid, be very afraid, because this is the kind of apparatus that is very that can be used to manipulate the susceptible to manipulation. Okay, it can be, and it is a form of brainwashing. And for those of you, well, there aren't hardly any enough people left to realize all the media control of a certain group in Germany that was doing the exact same thing. Is there is no difference. It is no difference than what ISIL, or anybody else would be using to to get their message out, no matter how warped it may be, to the masses. Just because it's an American company, blah blah blah, and there's all this and the other, there is no difference. So remember that. Now, enough about the rodents. The second part of my rant is this. This past, I should say, just before the week started, this particular weekend, they laid to rest, to me, a grand human being, Muhammad Ali. Now, for those of you who say he was a draft dodger, so on and so forth, okay, he stood up for some, and yes, he did. He did not. He was as they say now, a conscientious objector, and that is, and that is a right, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, so on and so forth. And as the Republican Party has been so quick to jump all over it, you don't have to be down with everything the government does. And I find it awfully funny that the Republicans can use that phrase, or take that stance every tooth and nail, but as soon as somebody that's non-Republican do it, you're anti-American. Okay, whatever, hypocrites. But the fact of it all is this man, if you all didn't get the message of his funeral, you were just, as the saying goes, looking at the pretty pictures and not paying attention. And I'll give a commentator, one of our local radio announcers, Dave Kaplan, kudos, because he hit the nail right on the head. At this funeral, at his memorial service, I should say, before some internet troll gets it wasn't whatever. Okay, at his service, this man practically had just about every walk of life, just about every race, every religion he could think of, there talking. Now, I say this. If and then Dave Kaplan hit the nail on the head. If he could have all these people at their, I mean, and some of them probably don't get along with some others and everything else, but to celebrate this man's life and this man's existence, if all them could be there at the same time and have nothing and be in fellowship to celebrate one man's life, what the f is wrong with the rest of us? We should be able to get. My wife said it so eloquently not too long ago. We can get along. We can get along. A lot of us choose not to. But Muhammad Ali, in the end, even at the very end, at the last possible moment that that people will recognize who he is, the man was still teaching and the man was still preaching. He showed you. Yes, you. If we're just celebrating life and the existence of oneself, life, we can get along. We can get along. We can laugh, hug, cry, whatever. We can get along quite well. That's the message. That's the message that man put out there. Is anybody listening? That's the real question. And so now, this concludes Kira. And I'm done being on my soapbox. And this concludes the 75th episode, yay, of Lip Service. I am your host, Stash Jenkins. And in the end, I say this. You don't necessarily have to. Oh, before I forget, June 20th. I hope to have this up before then. I hope. But if I don't, there is a catalog done by Alterna Comics. They're also one of the they also do independent. They're one of the larger independents out there. They're along as I consider them along the same lines as Dark Horse. They're having they reached out to all independents, be they no matter how big, how small, print, web comics, whatever, to put together a catalog called Make Mine Indie. That's coming out this June 20th, and it's supposed to reach over 2,000 people in print, going out to comic book shops and everything else, and of course they're having it online. So if you like independence, or you looking to find or try to get into independence, grab that book. Not just because we're in it too, but for the sake of supporting independent comics, independent publishers, and the like. This is something that should have been in the making. It should have been done years ago, and Alterna finally has gotten the wherewithal to put one together, and they're going to put. And then so far they're working on it to make it year round, every 4 months. So it looks like every calendar quarter. So I say to you, support that, support us. You know, get it. Go to the local comic book shop and get it. And if you see something that you like, go to that comic book shop owner, because they're supposed to be the shops that they're distributing to are supposed to be independent friendly, and say, I want this in the shop. And then once you get it in the shop, prove that it's worth having by going there and getting it. Just don't say, ooh, I want this here, and forget about it. Say, ooh, I want this, and then put your money where your mouth is, literally. You know, so that way everybody wins. You get some good reading entertainment. The store makes a little bit of money, and of course the big part of it all is the independent publisher makes it, because without, as we always been saying, without you liking and reading what we do, there is no us. There is no Kissing Me Comics. There is no Joe Perez. There's no CE Self-Flux. None of that. So take the time out and jump in and jump on that bandwagon and support independent comics. And if you, once again, Somewhere down here at the end of the show, there will be a like and subscribe button. Hit it. Tell your friends about Lip Service. And creators, if you're watching this and you want to be a part of it, email us, lipservice@kissmecomics.com. If you want to be and if you like what you're seeing, or if you're not part, if you don't like comics, fine, that's no big deal. But you know, for other businesses, if you see where you can fit your message in, that we sponsor us, support us, you know. And always remember, no, whether you like us or don't like us, try us. Whether it be Kiss Me Comics or whoever, try us out. And when you do try us out, remember to keep an open mind. And this concludes this episode of Lip Service. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out, y'all.